Hello to those of you without an ad. We'll say hello to the people with ads in a moment. It's doing the thing again. It's doing the curlicue and the straight. Who's here? Waldrop's here. Preparing myself for the live show, watching Matthias sharpen planer knives. Good stuff. Good stuff. Oh, how is everyone? How are things? I don't need this anymore. Was trying to get my phone charged up before I did this. I got some charge. Got it to 76% or so before I went live, so we can go for a while. Ooh. Is that long enough for the ad? Is Pinnell back yet? Eric Witzel showed up, not to learn anything, though. Damn right. It was a great time when Matthias just finished up. Sweet. Come on over from the Matthias show. Ad's over. Right on. We're live. This somebody should do something with this shop stool. It is like, I know for the longest time I was like, it's fine, it still works. It's at the point where it sketches me out just a little bit. Like if I move a little bit wrong, I'm afraid for it at this point. Hey, Eric. I have a guy coming to buy a guitar in about a half an hour. Sweet. You step away, you step back, whatever it is you need to do with your life, Mr. Waldrop. That's a good reason to have to walk away from the show for a little bit. Go sell them gits. I'm hoping, I don't know. See, I'm torn about these current gits that are underway. I think I'm going to want to keep them. But I also kind of don't want to keep them. I kind of want to. But should you be selling guitars before you've made? How many guitars do you think you should have made before you sell guitars? I guess if the person picks it up and plays it and likes it, who cares if it's your first one or your third one or your 10th one or your 100th one? But I'm a little bit, I don't know if you, like tables, yeah, if it'll hold your plates off the floor, right? Guitars have a little more technical precisioning, and I don't know if you should sell your. I sold my second guitar. Paul sold his second guitar, but was it to like a buddy? Because maybe I could sell these to buddies or something. But to put them up on the open market and say, somebody buy my second and third guitar. They're also another part of the problem of why I want to keep them is that they're like a matched set. Like they are going to be sisters of each other. And I kind of like that. Like I have a pair that go together. I don't know. I'll decide at the end. I'll be like, nope, these are keepers, or nope, these are sold. These are for sale. I don't know. Kind of the point I was making a few weeks ago about buying a guitar from an unknown luthier on Marketplace. Yeah, well, and that's kind of the way that the discussion went too. Is like, I don't know if I would buy a guitar from an unknown maker on Marketplace or on eBay or something. But if the way I buy guitars is I go into the music store, and if something calls me from across the room and says, you should probably come have a look at me, and then I do, and then I like the way it feels and sounds and things, do I care what the name is on it? sell some of the store-bought guitars to make room. Well, yeah, I mean, I probably do. Most of the store I bought guitars, I only have two. I only have two store-bought guitars, two guitars that I bought in stores. The rest of them are store-bought, but I bought them on Marketplace or Craigslist or whatever. And most of them I got either stupid cheap because I wanted to like harvest the parts off of them for when I started making guitars, or just because they were stupid cheap and like, why not buy the $50 guitar? So maybe that's the answer. Maybe either resell those and recoup some costs to buy some more guitar parts, or wood, or just harvest all of the stuff off of those and get rid of them. Like, one of them I bought because the neck was actually pretty nice, and I was just going to take the neck off and make a new body for it. I could sell the Dean electric. I never play it. Why do I own it? Oh, I own that because I own my Dean electric because I traded it for a cajon that I'd made. Somebody wanted to buy one of my cajones, and was like, I want one of those. Do you want one of my guitars? And he was a buddy of mine, and I was like, sure, I'll trade you a guitar for a cajon. I own two store-bought guitars, an acoustic and a silent acoustic. What the fuck is a silent acoustic? Is that even a guitar? Can you call it a guitar if it's silent? At 2023 pricing, you can sell the $50 guitar for $200. I probably would make money if I sold at least 3 of my cheap like Facebook finds / Craigslist finds. If I could make money on at least 3 of those, just selling them wholesale, like without doing anything to them. I don't know about that. I don't know about $200 for the $50 guitar, but I could easily turn the $50 guitar into $100 like cash money in my pocket. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But when these are done, I'll be like, am I keeping these? If I'm keeping these, I have to lose something, because I can't just keep putting more guitars on the racks. How many do I have? I think we counted them last week or a couple weeks ago. I want to say 9. Did you say 9 guitars? 10-ish? Hey, Waldrop, thank you. So the night isn't totally wasted. The night is never totally wasted. Sometimes I get that way by the end of it. But the night is never a waste of time. Even if I don't make super chat money, I have fun hanging out with you guys on Saturday nights or whatever night it was. Had to test it again. Hey, that's right. I forgot last week there was something broken for everybody except Pinnell. Or those other guys were lying to me. Waldrop and I don't remember who the other guy was that said he was trying to pay me but couldn't. Maybe those guys were liars, because it seems to be working this week. Glad I didn't test it with $1,000. If you accidentally tested it with $1,000, I would have sent some of that back to you. Be like, how much did you actually mean to send? Here, I'll just figure out a way to get that back to you. It was all a scheme to get. Yeah, that's what they were just baiting. They were baiting Pinnell to try and get him to pay me. That's what they were doing. Would have gotten a free calendar if you if you send me $1,000 super chat, you're not allowed to say no to the calendar. Oh, so this thing, I clamped the top to the body last night. That's cool. We can take it out of clamps today. And then I also, because I want these sisters to be the same body shape and neck shape and everything, at least, I made a new template, outside, not full template, but body shape template. I didn't realize how small these guitars are going to be. I knew they were smaller than the first one, which is why I didn't do any like weight relief, like semi-hollow body type action in it. Because I didn't want to make them so light that I get a bunch of neck dive. And I knew that they were significantly smaller than Dawn. But do you guys want to see? I'll show you how much smaller these things are. This is the router template for Dawn. This, that is a significant, this is a really small, there's like 2.5 inches right here. And like an inch and a bit there, and an inch on either side. Bunch off here. And it's like at least, it's going to be at least 1/4 inch thinner. So I'm not worried about it being too heavy. It's a violin. It's not that much bigger. I mean, it's a little bigger than a violin. It would be like an 8/4 violin. It's basically the size of like a 3/4 guitar body ish, I think, give or take. But yeah, they are fairly, these are going to be fairly small guitars, parlor size guitars ish. I don't know what a parlor size guitar is actually. I just know that they're smaller. Hello. Significantly smaller than cello. We'll take, probably not going to do a ton of work on the Git. We'll take it out of clamps. Maybe we will draw the new template onto it and get it down to approximate final size. But I'm not going to go all the way to like router templating the body to get it to final shape and size and everything. But we might rough it out. We'll see. I had another, well, I can't really even say that. I was going to say I had another hell of a day at work, but it was really only the last 2.5, 3 hours of the day. Just got completely out of hand. Just, we held it together, but it was, there were a few times where the two of us were looking at each other like, oh, I'm done. Are you done? And three kids' birthday parties. Three birthday parties, a resin workshop, a custom Glowforge order, 2 custom Glowforge orders, and just a bunch of foot traffic today. It was like, Saturdays are always relatively busy, but the schedule didn't look too bad at the beginning of the day, and all of a sudden just the last 3 hours just annihilated us. I tried out the new planer, silky smooth finish, and the 179 cuts per inch is insanely smooth. Sweet. And it's quieter, right? Didn't you lose like a dozen decibels? 11. Yeah, I rounded up to the nearest dozen. Sweet. Yes, Todd's asking if he did put a bird Helix cutter head in his DeWalt 735. I found out. I mean, I guess I already knew, but yesterday, the day before, at some point in the last week, I found out that I absolutely am at the point where I need to turn the cutters in my Rikon planer. Got some pretty not insignificant gash lines and starting to actually get tear out a little bit, and with a segmented cutter head, it should not be getting tear out in walnut, no matter which direction you, but even putting it in the wrong way. At least, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say you shouldn't be getting tear out, but I wasn't getting tear out when they were fresh, no matter which way I was putting boards through. Also not true. I wasn't getting the kind of tear out I got the other day. So they're dull, and a couple of them have chips in them. They need to be turned. So hopefully I'll get to that this week. Ugh. I don't even know why I say things. There's like a 4% chance that I'm gonna do that. I've met me. I'm gonna keep running them until, like, every time I put a board through, I'm gonna be like, oh right, supposed to turn those cutters. Meh. Before the next board, before the next time I use it, I'll do that. I need to plan and execute. Not just plan, but plan and execute a maintenance day sometime soon, where I do things like, turn the cutter heads in probably both my planer and my jointer. Just wax some beds, some tool beds. Get the vacuum into the nooks and crannies of things instead of just like a general, and make sure things are turning nice. Just turn one cutter a week and they'll always be fresh. If only it was like, yeah. I mean, I guess I could just find the ones that have the nicks in them and just turn those ones. But if you're gonna go in and start turning cutters, just do them. And honestly, if it was just that a couple of them are nicked, I probably would just turn those ones. But the fact that it's not just nicks, it's also dull cutters, I should turn them all. And let's face it, what is that? I'm how many, 2 years in on the Rikon? Somebody would have to look it up. I think I'm about 2 years in on the Rikon, and this will be the first turning of the cutters. So I don't have like a number of linear feet of wood or anything that I've put through them, but 2 years of use before I had to turn them. I was sending planer blades out to have them sharpened probably twice a year on my old planer. With my straight blade jointer, I just shift the blade to the right and the next blade takes care of the nick. Yeah, you can do that with straight blades, but they're also dull. I mean, maybe they're not. Maybe it just has a nick and you can take care of it just by shimmying it. But you do you, whatever gets you there, all the things that we say on the show, however you want to go about your work. Sharpen the carbide heads. Never need to buy another one. I'm going to use your $10. Actually, I'm not going to use your $10. I'm going to use your... It actually says $10 at the top. YouTube hasn't taken their cut yet. I'm going to put your, whatever it is, $7 or so towards my new cutters, Paul, just for you. Just because you're cheap and you want to sharpen carbide or carbide tip cutters. I don't even think they're carbide. I think they're high-speed steel, like two-sided dealies. When I replace them, I'm hoping to replace them with four-sided carbide. I was actually wondering if Mikey was going to be here tonight. Didn't see any live scheduled. Well, because I didn't actually get it scheduled until now that it's on Saturday. I want to wait until I know what time I'm out of work to make sure that I know what time to schedule the show for. Because there's sometimes I don't get out of work till 5:30. So I don't want to like pre-schedule a show for 5:45 when I'm not walking out of the door of work until 5:30. So I wait until I'm leaving work to schedule the show. So it didn't get scheduled until what? Quarter after? Maybe $10 USD minus the YouTube cut equals $10 Canadian. That's entirely possible. That actually might be the answer. That might be the answer. Because you gave me $1.99 last week and it gave, or 99 cents, and it gave me 70 something cents. Yeah, maybe. What kind of planer were you sending the blades out for? I get 2 straight knives on Amazon for $25. It was a Mastercraft 12-inch benchtop planer. I did replace the blades with double-sided blades, so you could rotate them once before you had to send them out. But I think I sent them out to sharpen for... I think the double-sided blades were about $40-ish. And I think I sent them out to sharpen for about 20. Still work, you got plans. I kind of did today, actually. I was like, okay, I gotta go. Like it's quarter after. I got a show that I gotta do, and you can't if it's gonna start after 6 o'clock, it's not gonna start. Like if it's ever 6 o'clock on a Saturday and there's no like show scheduled, there's probably not a show happening. I will usually announce that somewhere though, either on Facebook or Instagram or both, or on a YouTube like post. You can make posts on YouTube. I'll let people know if there's not a show happening. But just so you know, if you don't see a show scheduled by about 5:45 for it to start at 6, there probably isn't a show that night. Got my old cutter head blades both on eBay. Already giving some nibbles. There you go. Sell them. Is there a market for 735 cutter heads? What are people buying them for? I don't know. Paul's got his on eBay. Oh, what are people buying them for? I thought you were saying what are people buying them for, as in like how much are people buying them for? Yeah, spare parts to fix a busted one, or Matthias, probably. Actually, I'm pretty sure made a 12-inch jointer out of a 12-inch planer. It was probably a Mastercraft. So yeah, I mean, technically you could use that old DeWalt 12-inch, well, 12 and a half, 13. The 735 is 13. 13-inch cutter head. Do you make yourself a 13-inch planer or a 13-inch jointer with that cutter head? Using plans from Matthias Wandel. Oh. Only 5 of you have hit the thumbs up button, by the way. It's bad friending. Shouldn't have to remind you every week. I'm not your mom. Sold old weed eater parts on eBay too. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you? If you need parts for something, check eBay, Facebook, Craigslist before you go buy new stuff. Maybe there's somebody selling a broken their thing that you are trying to fix, but their broken thing that they're selling is not the same thing that's broken on yours. I thought constant reminders were part of the YouTube gig. What? Because they have to be, apparently. Because you guys just don't remember. 12-inch jointer would be scary to use. I would love a 12-inch jointer. Like a big honking. My buddy, really good friend of mine. You forgot his name. Chris Sumkiller has a big shop downtown. They do like timber framing. And they've got a big old cast iron. It's at least 12. Might be 15 or 16. It's at least a 12-inch jointer that they run there. And it's awesome looking. I don't think it would be any scarier than any other jointer, honestly. Agree, some go to fix broken 735s, but Bird sells a lot. Seems like the market would be flooded with original 735 heads. It's probably true. There are probably a lot of people that are posting their 735s because they've replaced them with Sheelix cutter heads. But I mean, hey, even if you can get $50 out of it or something. I mean, even the knives themselves, maybe somebody just buying you sell there's three blades in there. Those are probably $100 to replace them. You could probably sell the whole head for $100 and somebody's just buying it for the extra blades. What are you trying to sell yours for, Paul? What did you list it at? If the head breaks on mine, I'd replace it with Bird. Yeah, but if you could get a head with 3 blades in it for less than a new set of knives, and yours isn't broken, would you do that? Or would you go to the store and buy new knives for more than you could get the head with the knives in it? Fixed my wife's Mac with a busted Mac off eBay that I bought for parts. See? Cutter head. Paul's selling his for $120 with the cutter head and the blades. That's American, so that's about $1.50 Canadian ish. What's a new set of 735 blades cost up here in Canada? $100? Probably more than that. My 2-sided Mastercraft guys were like $50, 40, somewhere between 40 and $60. And there's only 2 of those. Don't know. Go your own way. Fleetwood Mac. Go your own way. Go your own way. Yeah, Fleetwood Mac, right? Used to be $73. Not sure what they are now. Yeah. See? Todd says they are $60 at Lowe's. That's US, so that's about $90. So I was close. Not to sound dumb, but what's a 735? We're talking about a particular model of DeWalt planer. It is kind of I would say it's the homeowner workhorse planer. The DeWalt 735 is a 3 cutter head, variable speed, planer with a chip blower. It's kind of the standard by which all benchtop planes are measured, I would say. It's the one that I was gonna buy before I bought my Rikon, but it got too expensive for me to buy it without at least considering a segmented head planer, which I actually ended up getting. I got the Rikon segmented head planer for about $50 more than the 735 straight knife was when I got it. So it's like an electric version of a Stanley No. 8. No, because a Stanley No. 8 is a jointer, Tim. A planer makes two faces coplanar to each other. It does not joint either of those faces. Oh, number 4? No. It's a fundamentally different tool. A planer and a plane are two fundamentally different tools. You would think that they would be a similar tool. And I suppose in a way they are. They are taking a shaving in this direction off of a board. That's where the similarities end. Somebody's got really studded tires on dry pavement out there. Like those sound like freshly studded tires. Or fresh studded tires. They're wearing them down. The electric version of a Stanley No. 3. No, one of those like power, those handheld power planers would be the electric version of a Stanley No. 3. A planer and a planer are different as well. One is a woodworking tool, and the other is a book to organize your day. No. You got me to read it too. Oh. You got to add another N to the second one. Well, only partially serious, by the way. Once he said it was a doll. I know. We're all in this together. We get it. We mess with each other. That's what we do. Before I get too far into my second beer, let's use the bandsaw if we're going to use the bandsaw tonight. Right? So, oh, it's the unclamping. Everybody loves a good unclamping. Yeah. Spalted maple top on the Purple Heart maple body. Get it out of clamps. It's been in there, what, 20-ish hours, 22, 20, 21-ish hours. That's more than enough. Book match spalted maple top on the Purple Heart walnut, or Purple Heart maple body. Not a call in sight. Okay, I'll tell you why. This is a valid, we're going to learn. You ready? Ready to learn? So, if this guitar body and this guitar top were both perfectly flat and coplanar, I would have had a curved call to make sure that I got some pressure in the middle of this clamping situation. However, when I was milling these things to make them ready to go together, the top actually ended up cupping a little bit this way. So I took advantage of that slight cup this way, and by clamping around the end and pulling these down to the rest of the body, it added additional force to the middle because I was clamping around the outside, pulling it down. My top is off on one side. Yeah, I know. It didn't quite make it all the way to the edge of there. But guess what? It makes it to the edge of this. Think. Yep. It's fine. And even if it was full width, I mean, I would only have to sand off like a 16th or something. And maybe I want a little bit of Purple Heart showing around the outside of the top anyway. You don't know. We're supposed to be working. Okay, let's go back over here. Yeah. So we are now going to. No, we're going to do it. We're going to do it on this side. That's why I drew my center line on both sides. So this. I don't know how you guys are going to actually see the operation here. I'm lining up my center line with my center line with my center line. No, what? How did I mess this up? I'm off here. Oh no, never mind. Ah, there we go. It's got to center the front too, and now that fits inside that. Basically, I'm losing a little bit in through here, increasing the scoop here, and thinning out through down there. It's not a huge change to the general shape, but it is sleeker and I like it better. So let's draw it on there. We'll draw it on there, and then we will rough cut it out at least. And yeah, then once it's rough cut out, I can do the template routing over on the router table, which I don't have accessible right now, so that's not something we're doing tonight. So on my center line, there we go. There we go. So I made this template by tracing the body shape that I already had onto a piece of 1/4 inch MDF. And then I just played with lines inside that tracing so that I knew this is how much material you have to play with. And basically I just kind of sleekified it a little bit, because when I cut these out originally 5 years ago, I just kind of eyeballed a general guitar shape. That is now my general guitar shape. We're going to cut it out. Here's a slice off a little bit of that excess to get it closer to being able to route it. Yes, my blade does not need to be that high. Do you actually? Yeah, okay, let's do it for just because safety police. Somebody will say something. I can't see it as good. Oh, that bulb's dead. Sweet. You guys can't see it as good. See, this is the compromise. If you're going to be safe, video's not as good. Safe. Oh, and Paul just left, so he's not going to hear that I fixed the scream when it starts. It doesn't squeal like a banshee anymore when we start it up. So I'm just going to cut a little bit outside these lines just to get it down closer to where I actually want it to. Sometimes you gotta use your bandsaw sideways because you don't feel like changing out a blade. A 1/2 inch 3 TPI blade is not making that corner. Are you safe if you can't see it very well? I could see it okay. Like, not as good, but just way better than you guys could. I mean, that's the main reason I keep my blade up that high, is for filming purposes, honestly. Did he lose a finger yet? Nope. Ta-da! Let's get the neck. We get a better idea of what this bad boy's going to look like. About like that, give or take. Ooh. So we are another step closer. I like that. That's a nice. That's nice. Bolt on or set neck? Set neck. They're doing it exactly the same way that I did the last. I figure make my second and third guitars the same way I made my first one, because my first one worked out. If these ones don't, maybe I'll change something. But if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of a situation. First one worked. Why would you do something different on the second or third? You guys, if you were here when I resawed out, or when I sawed out this chunk of maple and was somewhat disappointed by the lack of spalting in it compared to what I thought was going to be in it, I actually really, really like it now. Like, there's still enough character in it. By the way, the pickup is going to go like right over those knots. But there's enough character in it that it'll add some interest, some visual interest, but it's not as busy as it would be with like full-on inky black spalting lines. And he's afraid we'll leave him if he fixes the stool. Nope. You'll find other reasons to leave. Boy, Linseed oil would look good on that top. I'm pretty sure I'm going to finish with something that's going to add some depth. And it's not going to be a spray lacquer finish like the last one was. I do want to accentuate some things in that grain. So whatever I finish it with will have some grain popping uh, characteristics. Maybe it'll be that amber shellac. No, it won't. Um, it'll probably be a hand rubbed oil finish of some kind. Could just go with wipe on poly or Danish oil. We were talking about Danish oil and teak oil and stuff last week. Could be one of those. Torch it. No, that's your thing. I'm not burning guitar. Well, I would burn a guitar, but I would burn it by throwing it in a fire. It's not. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not a look for me. Everybody's got their thing. And the stool is half done. I was going to say 3/4 done, but the stool is half done. It's just, I had to make guitars, yo. I got busy making guitars. I couldn't finish the stool. I wanted something fun. The stool wasn't. I like the design, and it'll be cool when it's done. But I wasn't enjoying, really, the process. And I wanted to be enjoying the process of making something again. Because this is my fun, happy place. And if it's not fun and happy, why are you here? It's taken 2 years for it to get half done. Well, it took 2 years for it to get started. It only took like 3 days to get half done. And now it's been sitting for 2 months. Yeah, in its half done state. The stool's fine. It's literally like at some point on the show, it's just gonna go out from under me, and you guys are gonna laugh and laugh, and it'll be hilarious. Purple dye stain? I don't think so. I think that would be too much, especially considering so the one that we're working on here on the live show is this half of the pear. Purple Heart, maple, walnut, spalted maple top. The other half of the pear is black walnut, Purple Heart, maple, Purple Heart top. So I don't want to do purple stain on the maple one and have Purple Heart top on the other one. I like that they're gonna be pretty side by side on a rack. I'm keeping them, aren't I? Probably keeping them. Because I think I'm either keeping them or I have to sell them together so that they can stay together. So I'm probably keeping them. So if anybody's in the market for a Dean electric guitar or a Vantage Stratocaster style guitar without any tuning pegs or pickups or jack plate or potentiometers, let me know. Why not raffle off one and we can have twinsies? I mean, the only A raffle is a good idea, other than the legal ramifications of getting caught doing an international raffle, without covering your ass with like, because essentially that's a lottery, and in order to run a lottery, there are some things, yeah. I mean, I could auction it off. I would love to run a raffle where, like, my costs and then a little bit are covered, and somebody gets a guitar for $30 because they bought a ticket. Like, that would be rad. Maybe I'll look into it. If I could get 50 people to pay $30 a ticket, it's $1,500. But yeah, an international raffle will get you into a lottery trouble, huh? Hey-o! It will, but there are ways to do it. I mean, even if I just made it a North America one, like, I could get a license to run a raffle in Canada and the US. And as long as the cost of that license was incorporated into, like, the cost of how many tickets I sold for how much money. Don't forget shipping costs. I have to ask McGill for advice more often, because I totally would have forgotten the shipping cost. Just need to exclude Quebec. Well, you always need to exclude Quebec because they're not allowed to win anything. Somebody else want to look into it for me? Because I was going to say, like, I'll look into that, but will I? If somebody wants to look into what it takes to put on a raffle, a North American wide raffle for me, that'd be great. If anybody out there in internet land is watching and wants to look into that for me, let Business Mike recover from the calendars first. I don't think there's any recovering from the calendars, my friend. I don't think there's any recovering from the calendars. I don't think I'm going to recover from the t-shirts. Sending a pallet castered body to Italy, $78 for shipping. That's pretty rad. $78 to send a guitar to Italy? Cost me almost that much to send 2 calendars to Australia. Damn. Kind of wish I wouldn't have said that out loud. That's depressing. That killed my mood. You send a damn guitar to Italy for just a little bit more than it cost me to send 2 calendars to Australia. And I don't even think they have them yet. And I sent them in middle of December. Wanted a t-shirt, but it seems to have went the way of the shop stool. It's exactly the way of the shop stool. Because I have the shirts and I have the images to print on them. And I just didn't finish. I didn't follow through. I still intend on following through. But for a Telecaster body, oh, not the full guitar. Yeah, see, I was like, come on. Because you would want it in a padded case and, like, wrapped real good. I was going to call shenanigans, but even that, even a Telecaster body for $78 all the way to Italy. See, the problem with me paying $60 to send 2 calendars to Australia is that he only paid $50 for the calendars and the shipping. And the calendars each cost me $20. So $40 worth of calendars and $60 worth of shipping, and he paid me $60. Wait, doesn't matter. Guitar I shipped to Daryl Perron only cost me $88. The full finished, ready to go guitar was $88 up to Canada. Whatevs. Business Mike. Hashtag whatevs. Hashtag Business Mike. I think that's all we're going to do in terms of getting work done on the show. That is attractive. That is attractive. I'm going to put the neck on it again. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I like that a fair bit. Probably keeping it. Unless somebody wants to find out what I got to do a raffle. Because if I could, like I said, if I could make a couple of bucks on it and recoup the costs, and somebody could get their hands on it for $30-40, roll the dice kind of situation. Or somebody, or Beckham, it would probably be Beckham, would have himself a handmade guitar for $40. What was that router bit do I use for templating? Not the best one. I use well, it's in the router. I'll show you. It's a half-inch. It's a quarter-inch shank, half-inch bearing. This guy. It's about an inch long, bearing on the bottom. It's not the best bit for this, but it's the one that I have, and it's a 2-cutter Freud. Oh, which reminds me. Sometimes, well, I always watch back the show because I want to improve. I want to see where things went well. And I realized that I miss a fair number of comments sometimes where people are either discussing things or actually asking me questions that I miss. So if you're asking me questions and I miss them, don't think that I ignored it. Like, ask it again, because I probably just missed it. But a couple of, when I was actually cutting the neck, or cutting the fretboard off the neck, and I was planing it down to be flush. And people were talking about, like, wouldn't it be more efficient to do that with a router bit, like a template router bit? And yes, it would have, except that I don't have a top bearing router bit, and because the neck was already shaped, I would not have been able to use a bottom bearing bit to flush trim the fretboard to the neck. I would have had to have a top bearing bit that would ride on the neck and then flush the bottom, and I don't have that bit. So while yes, using a flush trim bit would have been more efficient, only if you have the right bit to do that. So you just skipped over them on purpose. Nope. Amazon carries white side router bits. Well, sure. Lots of people carry the right router bits to do the job properly. I didn't have one at the time. Still don't. And what did it take me to flush up that, really, like, in the grand scheme of things? I'm not making Waldrop level guitar production. Like these might be the only 2 guitars. Yeah, there'll be 2 of the 3 guitars that I make this year, and that's 3 more than most years. So like efficient. It took me 7 minutes or something to just run them through the bandsaw and then flush them up with a planer. And it would have taken me a minute instead. So I lost like 18 minutes of my life this year by doing it with the bandsaw and a hand plane instead of a router bit. Cost me 18 minutes of my life this year instead of buying that router bit. Assuming that I do all 3 of those guitars that way. Hey, Stanford's here. That's funny. He's right after. He's like, yo, he only ignores me. On my end, there's top chat and all chat. Top chat ignores some messages at the bottom. Yeah, I don't have that option as the host of it. I only see the all chat. You as an audience, which by the way is the singular of audience. It's not. But as an audience, you have the option to go all or top chat, which is like, I don't even know how it decides like which chat messages to show you, like which ones are more important. I have the exact same Freud router bit and I often get tear out. Okay. Well, there could be a couple of reasons for that. One is that it is not spinning fast enough. 2 is that you are routing in the wrong direction against the grain and trying to take off too much at the same time. So when I pattern route something, I don't want to be more than, I absolutely don't want to be more than 1/8 of an inch of material taking off. And even if it's a full 1/8 of an inch of material that I'm taking off, I'm probably going in a couple of light passes to get down to the bearing. Like a 1/16 is about as far as I would want to like do in one whole sweep. And ideally you would want to be going, you would want to have the router bit spinning into the grain laying down this way. So if the grain is laying this way, you don't want the router bit spinning this way, because then it wants to grab that grain and rip it up. You want to feed the spinning blade into grain that's going this way. I route everybody against the grain, but I've been doing it so long, I know some tricks to not get tear out. Yeah, spin as fast as you can. Spin the router bit as fast as you can, and don't bite off more than it wants to bite off. You can route against the grain. You just like don't try to hog away material. In one pass. Go slow. Go feed slow, spin fast. I've noticed Top Chat removes most messages that are all emoticons. I would hope there aren't too many messages that are all emoticons. Like, use your words. Isn't half your routing always going to be against the grain when cutting a body or neck? Okay. Yes, technically, if you're going all the way around a guitar body. But that's why there are router bits that have a bearing on both the top and the bottom, or it's interchangeable. So you could set your thing up to be, say I was trying to trim this top flat to this body. This body was already the shape I wanted. I needed to trim the top to it. You could use a top bearing bit and go only on the parts where the grain is diving the right direction for it to not rip up. And then you could flip it over and put your template back on and go for the rest of it that are the other parts. Or you could get one of them fancy pants. Radian in the UK makes a nice big tall one where there's a bearing on both the top and the bottom, and you just raise and lower it. So you could go on the parts that you're doing the right way, and then you raise it and use the other side, the other bearing, to ride on the rest of the parts. There are ways around doing it, but you can just be careful, go slow, spin fast, and not cause yourself a terrible amount of headaches. What's up, party people? Jack Hendricks is back. Look out. Oh, crap, I learned something. Yeah, sorry about that. Anyway, the tear-out is why I mentioned the white side bit, since it's spiral. Spiral, I would love to have a spiral pattern bit. I just don't. And I won't say that I never will, because there will be a time that I'll just splurge and buy one. But I don't necessarily, it's not hindering my ability to get clean results. It's an efficiency thing. If you are doing a crap ton of pattern routing around the outside of things where grain changes direction and stuff like that, by all means, spiral bit, double top bottom bearing, spiral upcut, flush trim bit, go the whole, buy a $200 bad boy. I very rarely run into a situation where I'm like, damn, I have to route against the grain. I guess I can't do a route. I guess I can't do this router operation. You know, I don't. It's way too complicated for me. I'll be going against the grain. Yeah, just spin it as fast as your router spins without it being unsafe for that particular diameter of bit. And don't try to eat away at 3/4 of an inch of material at a time. You guys want me to save this this pattern routing for next week, and we can go through it? I don't have to do it between shows. I can do it on the show next week. I'm just not currently set up to do it. And we can walk through how you go about trying not to get tear out going against the grain, routing the outside of a guitar body. We can do that next week if you want. Good night, bro. All right, later, Flavio. Didn't even know you were here, my friend. I have 2-inch, 3-inch, and 4-inch tall. You have a 4-inch tall double bearing flush trim bit? Jesus. The 4-inch are scary at high speed due to vibration. Yeah, because, like, yeah, that's crazy. Got a couple of hefty white side bits there. Nice to use. Yes. Yes. I said something and he answered. Do you want me to save? Okay. I don't have, yeah, I'll pattern route it next week. Quit being lazy and just do it. No. I have to pull my old table saw away from the wall, and it's in a pile of sawdust, and the router isn't plugged in, and no. Eat shit, Stanifer. I'll do it next week. It's fine. In between shows, I try not to do too much on the guitar that we're supposed to be building together. In between shows, I try to do work on the guitar that is the sister of that guitar and film it for an edited project video. Watch, and I'll do it live on the show, and I'll just get a huge tear out. Be like, this is how you be careful and don't get tear out. And it just, and it'll just tear a huge chunk out of it. I tend to line up the piece, start the router, yell charge, and hope. Whatever gets you there. That's, yeah. whatever gets you there. You know? Is that going to be the 2023 project video? That was well done. That was nice. That was nicely played. That might have been your best burn ever. Like it. Good work. Maybe not. Maybe it won't come out until next year. You're not in charge of me. I have had an edit in the timeline, in a video editing software timeline to be edited. I've had all the clips in the system and ready to get put together into an edit for at least a month. I just don't want to sit in front of my computer and do an edit. I just have all year since the clock struck 12 on New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. I have not once thought, you know what I want to do right now? I want to sit in front of my computer and edit a video for YouTube. And when I forced myself to sit in front of my computer and start an edit for YouTube, and I got all the files, all the clips into the software and put them into the timeline and thought about editing them into a video, I went, I don't want to do this right now. I don't. So all the clips are all in the system, and I just have to put them together into the video, and I just don't feel like it ever. Is this the death of the Mike's Wooden Things and Stuff edited video? I don't know. I have zero motivation to do video editing these days. I would much rather just make stuff here on the live show with you guys and not have to edit anything. Hell, this is better anyway. Well, not for viewership numbers. But it is more fun. It is absolutely more fun. It's easier. And I want to be here. I'd want to be here doing this live with you guys. I don't want to be sitting at my computer editing video clips of stuff I've already done. No, just I need to hire an editor for $0, or for be hilarious to hire a video editor for like a percentage of what those videos earn me, and I can prove to him, him or her, sorry, sexist, I can prove to this person what this video has earned me and pay them a percentage of it. Be like, sell them on the fact that they'll get 20%. I'll send you all the clips, you edit them into a video, you get 20% of the profits from that video for the rest of your life. All the money that video makes, you can have 20% of the profits from it for the rest of your life. But I only pay you once every one, like the same way that YouTube does. They only pay out if you're over $100. So once your payout goes over $100, I'll pay you on the 15th of the following month. They'll be editing for free for me for like a year. 20%. Yeah. Oh yeah, pay them like $100 a year or something. I would make way more videos. Promote Pinnell. Hey, Pinnell, you want to get into video editing? I'll pay you 20% of all the profits. Should do that Zoom someone was talking about. I did a Zoom one day after the show with Kapla, and we were the only two that showed up. If that's what you're talking about, when people were talking about like, hey, let's get on a Zoom meeting after the show. I did that one week, but I just hung out with Kapla for like 40 minutes. Hey, Pinnell. That's funny. Now, I could go to the high school and go to the AV department and offer to let their students practice their video editing using clips from a local woodworker and just see what they came up with. It's not a terrible idea. I mean, maybe they'll be terrible, but maybe they'll be awesome. And they get to practice, they get school credit. I get to not edit videos. Need something to write on. High school AV kids? Question mark? Child slave labor? No, it's educational. I'm helping with their education by providing them with material to edit. I'm doing it out of the goodness of my heart. I'm offering them up this free content to edit. Pinnell should be vice president of customer relations for Mike's Wooden Things and Stuff LLC. I don't think he would take that position, because then he'd have to talk to you jerks. Customer relations. If I was big enough to need a customer relations department or person, I was going to say like it wouldn't be Pinnell, but Pinnell's perfectly nice. He would do a good job at that. He wouldn't want to. I don't think he likes people enough. Who would I? This is a good exercise. Who would I choose to fill that role? If in a hypothetical world where I was big enough to need like a customer relations person, who would I get to handle that? Out of the people, the friends of the show. Who likes people? Do any of you guys like dealing with the public? Because I think that I'm probably still the best person to Stanford. Yeah, you're probably right. It is probably Scott. It is probably Scott. It's probably the right answer. But people be on the phone and be like, I don't understand what you're saying. Why do you keep calling me mate? And talking about things in millimeters. Like I don't understand. No, I enjoyed back-end jobs where you don't have to be public facing. That's why I'm offering you the position of video editor. Company showed up. All right. Later, Jack. Thanks for coming back, my friend. Enjoy your time with your friends. As I am enjoying my time with my friends right now. Only as far as I can make money from them. Yeah. That's why I don't want you as my customer service representative. Because you'll be trying to like upsell people. Be like, hey, while I have you on the line, can I talk to you about your extended warranty? Or I don't know if you're aware of this, but Mike sells some really nice live edge coasters. Spend most of my work day on the phone. Here in the South, they call you sweetheart and babe a lot. They call you sweetheart and babe? That's weird. We're good. We're good. We're good. Don't order a stool. They take years to get. It's true. Do not order a shop stool from Mike's Wooden Things and Stuff. Unless you want this one, when I replace that one. I will have it in the mail to you the next day. Once that one's done, if you want to buy this one, this might be a piece of history. This could be in a museum one day. While I have you on the line, can I let you know the benefits of a Patreon account membership? There you go. There you go, my friend. Did you know that Mike has a Patreon page that has benefits for being a patron and also coasters? My day job is IT support for a big box lumber store. Its color is blue. The big box lumber store whose color is blue. Nicely said. They call me Hey IT Guy. Like they can't even bother to learn your name. Okay, Tim. The people at your job don't bother to learn your name. The guy you met halfway across, well, not halfway across the world, but all the way across the continent, knows both your name, how to pronounce it properly, even though it's not spelled that way, and approximately where you live, and he remembers that out of all of the people that watched his show. You are Timothy Mallon from upstate New York in the Hudson Valley. God, I hope that's right. I hope it wasn't the other one that was upstate New York in the Hudson Valley. Because you guys, the two of you came in at the same night to be new guys. God, I hope I was right, because I was pretty arrogant about remembering that. Grocery store cashiers back home will call you my love or my trout or sweetheart. Oh yeah, well that's in Newfoundland, right? They have all kinds of weird shit in Newfoundland. They talk weird. Interesting fact though, in case you were unaware, there are some academics and scholars who think that the Newfie accent is actually the closest representation that we currently have on the planet to the way people spoke in Shakespearean England. IT support from MSP. Okay. Completely, we're going on another tangent. Here we go. I have numerous IT people. So that leads me to think that maybe you know some things about computers. Don't tell me to unplug it and plug it back in or restart the modem or whatever. That's not what this question is. And it may not be applicable to a generic IT person. But if somebody out there knows, either watching currently live or after the fact, because like usually sometimes a couple hundred people watch this thing. If you know how I can go about accessing my Hotmail account. So I have an old Hotmail account that I used to use, like it was my first ever email address. And I used to use it to store files by emailing them to myself. So I actually have like the first draft of a novel and stuff like that in that Hotmail account that I can't log into because that Hotmail account I don't remember the password for, and the backup email address for that account is an old Gmail account that I don't have the password for, so I can't access that Gmail account to get a reset of my password from a Microsoft Hotmail account. Is there any solution here? Can I ever access my Hotmail account ever again? It won't let me log in because I don't know the password, and I can't have it send me a reset of my password because that goes to somewhere that I also can't access. How old are we talking? Hotmail started nuking accounts that weren't accessed for a certain period. I want to say I have not accessed that Hotmail account for 4 years. Maybe at this point. Is it gone forever? Because that's like where the draft of my novel was. No, Hotmail may be lost at this point. That will suck. What's the backup for the Gmail? Probably that Hotmail account, to be honest. It was like my first ever Gmail account. After 360 days, 5 days short of typical inactivity, Windows Live Hotmail account is permanently deleted. Well, shit. Yay! I had a lot of stuff in there because that was literally like the way that I saved files, because I didn't trust like my computer hard drive not to fail and stuff. So I'd like email stuff to myself, and then I knew that it was at least in my inbox that I could search for it. Okay. Well, that's another downer. Guess I don't have a draft of a novel anymore. That sucks. Hotmail can be set up with MFA and other ways to protect it. I don't even know what MFA. When you say MFA, my brain says that's a Masters of Fine Arts. That's what that acronym means to me. So I don't know what that is. It doesn't matter. My novel's gone. Probably some songs are gone. It's fine. It's not fine. That's really depressing, actually. Spent a long time working on that novel. It's really the only thing that's. It's probably the only thing that's in there that, like, I'm actually really upset about. Maybe I did print it out once and gave it to wife to like read the initial draft of. Maybe she still has it, like the physical copy, and I could just retype it. Because that's a lot of work. And I know the general storyline and the characters, and I could rewrite it and it would be better. But I would like to be able to start from the first draft that I wrote if I was ever going to work on my novel. But was I ever going to go back to it? Was I? I don't know. Probably not. No, obviously it was still pertinent because I'd like thought of it the other day. Don't save your files by emailing them to yourself. We learned another thing tonight. Don't email things to yourself to save them as being things. If you try to sign into the Hotmail, does it say the account is gone or the password's wrong? I think the last time I tried, I think it said incorrect password. I think it said that password is incorrect. Do you want to reset? It did the typical, like, that's the incorrect password. Do you want to reset your password? We will send a link to blah, 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 blah. And that's the problem, is that I can't access that account either. If you had a paper copy, you could scan it with an OCR scanner to avoid retyping. Where's my paper? I somehow doubt that wife still has that copy of my novel. But OCR scanner. To avoid retyping my novel. I'm learning. I don't know about you guys. I don't know what an OCR scanner is, but I would say there's about a 4% chance that I ever get the first draft of my novel back. But I worked on it for so long and I know those characters so well that if I started from scratch, I would have a better first draft by just going off the top of my head and trying to recreate that novel, starting fresh from chapter 1. So maybe that's what I'll do. If I ever decide that I want to get back into my novel, maybe I'll just be like, first draft doesn't exist. The first draft, you know these characters better than anybody else. You know the story better than anybody else. Just rewrite it. Optical character recognition is everybody is saying. Okay. So that's like when you have a PDF and you like make it select the text with like Adobe so that you can edit it. I imagine that's probably a similar kind of software. Yeah, there's a drop down that says like recognize text in the PDF, and then you can make adjustments. Look at me. And look at me and my old dog learning new tricks for a hypothetical situation that probably will never happen. Because, like, why would she have kept... She is kind of in, I don't want to call her a hoarder, but that is the type of thing that she probably, there is a not insignificant chance that that's in a tote somewhere. Because it was like, it would have been super early on in our relationship, back when I was still in university, and I had her read it to tell me whether or not it was shit and I should keep working on it or not. Honestly, it's the type of thing that she actually might have in a tote under a bed or in a storage closet somewhere. This is a possibility. Fun story about OCR. It used to see lowercase f's and thought they were old-fashioned s's. Yeah, I could see that. It was confusing when it tried translating. Yeah, that is a funny story. So the possibility of 30 cats in your future? First of all, no. But second of all, it's funny that you mentioned that, because Sven the other day says, so me and Mom were talking. We were at the pet store the other day, and we were talking. And I know that you're not going to have a good opinion about this, but we were thinking that maybe we should get another cat so that Cinder has a friend when nobody else is in the house. I said, okay, well, first of all, I like that that you're thinking of Cinder's best interests and stuff. Like, that's responsible of you. But no, you know that I didn't want to live in a house with a cat. And because you guys wanted one, and I love you, I said yes. There is a 0% chance that another one is coming to live here while I live here. If you want to kick me out, if you want another cat instead of me, we can open up that discussion. Welcome to Woodworking and 3-letter acronym translations. Yeah. Welcome back to Mike's Wooden Things and Stuff, everybody. Today we're going to talk about ocular recognition, whatever that thing is that people just were talking about earlier. Optical character recognition. And MFAs. When are you moving? I didn't actually, that part I didn't say out loud. But like, if it comes up again. If it comes up again and they're like, actually, I think we should really, really consider this, I probably will say something along the lines of like, if you want me to live here, stop bringing this up. Multi-factor authentication. Not the Master of Fine Arts. I can sleep in the shop. It's attached to the house. And it has like a bathroom and stuff in there. And the kitchen where I make food. And I'd have to go through cats. No. I'm not dodging cats to get to the kitchen. I already have to dodge a cat to get to the kitchen. No. If TLA equals 3-letter acronym, what is FLA? Fucking lucky asshole. Wait. I have to draw a 3-letter acronym. 4-letter acronym? Is it a joke? What's the punchline, Tim? It feels like it might be a joke. Watch that fine balancing act. 30 cats provide much love. YouTube channels provide much fill in blank. Arrow profit. Demonetized now. No, I'm far enough into the show that now I can swear. And the advertisers don't care. I think that I can't do it much. Like, I can't just constantly just sit here and just like shout swear words at the screen. But like after a certain point into an episode, it stops caring as much if you use profanity in terms of being advertiser friendly. Because it just assumes that people are going to stop watching after 40 seconds anyway. Because people have such short attention spans that YouTube's like, let's just say if people don't swear in the first 2.5 minutes, that they can swear all they want, because most people aren't going to watch past that. It's not 4-letter acronym. They don't exist. It's enhanced 3-letter acronym. Okay. I thought it was a joke. Is it still a joke and I'm just not getting it? Is that actually a thing? There's no such thing as a 4-letter acronym? It wants you to wait until everyone with goldfish attention spans have left. Exactly. Yeah. It's like, well, the majority of people aren't going to get 4 minutes into a YouTube video. So after that, just do whatever you want. Some days I do not have a lot of hope for humanity. And not just because their attention spans are waning. I was writing something for work the other day. We were putting together an application for something. And there was a word count limit. So I opened up wordcounter.net, as I do when there's a word count limit for something. And I'm typing my thing to do for this application that has a word count limit. And I copy pasted into the word count to see where I'm at in terms of how many words do I have left. And at wordcounter.net, I think is the site. It also has a bunch of other categories that's like number of characters, number of sentences, number of paragraphs. And it also has like the level of writing that you've done in terms of like who should be or what might be reading this type, like what your level of writing is. So like this is written at the like a 4th grade level or a 10th grade level for your target audience or whatever. And like high school graduate, college student, college graduate, you know, if you're writing a PhD thesis, you would hope that it would your level of writing would be up there. And I didn't think that this like blurb that I was writing for this application was like written in like serious language that like most adult human beings wouldn't. But it was like it had like college graduate, and I'm like, well, I'm a college graduate. I wasn't writing this targeting the level of college graduate. Nor do I think this is written at the level of college graduate. YMCA and NASA are enhanced TLAs. Jesus. Isn't TLA the method I had to use to write essays in university? Oh, here we go. 101 uses for a dead cat. Get 30 cats, turn each one into something from the book, sell that product, and make a YouTube video of it. Be like, episode 1 of ways to use a dead cat. So people might watch that. I might make money on YouTube if I did that. Kyle is here. Uh-oh. Look out. How are you doing, my friend? My friend Dunder from down under? Yeah, I couldn't think of anything. Oh, Chili's here too. We were talking about you earlier. You might have a new role. We might be hiring you for a new position in the Mike's Wooden Things and Stuff family. They knew because you signed the writing with Mike Davies BA. No, it's just like based on your sentence structure and the level of words that you use. It doesn't matter. There's a guy with over 1 million subs that posts mousetrap videos. Of course there is. Isn't the 101 uses of a dead cat some Monty Python thing? It sounds like it should be, doesn't it? 101 ways to use a dead cat sounds like a Monty Python skit. Absolutely does. Yeah. Still waiting for the calendars. I'm confused at what day it is. I have no way of knowing what day it is because I have not received my Mike's Wooden Things and Stuff calendar. Here, I'll check. Honestly, I don't know what day it is either, Scott. It is a Saturday. March, I think, just started. So it is Saturday, March 4th. We are here. You, my friend, are over here. And here happens to be your business logo. I think you have, I want to say 3 or 4 months where your logo sneaks into the frame. Okay, March, there it is. Oh, way in the back there in April. In April, it's let's 2. Oh, November. Just got into the frame up there on the side of the bandsaw. So only 3? Maybe it's only 3 times that your logo snuck into my calendar. What's your new position? Your new position, if I ever get big enough, if I somehow ever get big enough, whoa. Oh, I thought that was it. I thought that was the end of the stool. Jesus, it might be. Oh, it might be the end. It might be the end. We discussed it and we decided that if I ever get big enough to need a customer service representative, you are the only friend of the show who might accept that position and do an okay job at it because you are friendly and actually like people. So if I ever get to the point where I need like a customer service representative that people can call like a 1-800 number and it goes somewhere, it's probably going to go to you, my friend, because you're going to represent me well. You're going to enjoy talking to people, and you're going to solve whatever it is that their problem is. And you're literally like the only person we could think of that has like all three of those qualities. Yeah, he likes talking. It's not just like I enjoy talking. I don't like people talking to me. I'm good. I'm okay like this. But like people calling with customer complaints and stuff, like, talk to Scott. He'll get it ironed out. It's fine. I'd be happy to do it by email or by text message or by Instagram message or whatever. I'm good like that. But I don't know. No. I have. Oh, I hate you. Hang up. And he's the only one who could do North American night shift and not need day shift differential pay. That's a good point. It'd be weird though that like my customer service hours were like 8 p.m. to 7 a.m. or something. Like if you have a customer service issue, please call this number between the hours of 8 p.m. and 9 a.m. People be like, "Wow, he's a night owl." I'm like, "Yeah, I am. I sleep during the day. I work the night shift." Also, you're going to talk to my friend Scott, and just don't worry about the fact that he's saying weird things like mate and millimeter. Ute. Was that the thing that Jax was talking about on the podcast? Those little like El Camino looking cars that you guys have down there? Just chuck it in the back of the Ute, mate. That's right. That's right. You can't attach a PDF or Word document in a phone call, though. That's a good point. People wouldn't be able to fill out their warranty information over the phone. Speaking of PDFs and Word documents, we also, before you got here, may have discovered that the novel I wrote is gone forever. That's pretty cool. I mean, to be fair, it was only the first draft. Well, it was the second draft of a novel. And it's probably gone forever. Did the hard drive die? No, because I didn't trust it putting it on a hard drive or a disk, because like computers die and stuff. I emailed it to myself. I emailed the file to myself so that I would have access to it forever and ever. But I emailed it to myself back before I knew that I was going to stop using that email address. Eventually. And now I don't have access to that email address, and it's probably closed. I'm not going to explain it all again, am I? I might. Basically, my first ever email address was a Hotmail account, and the backup, or the like account recovery information went to a really old Gmail account, which I don't have the password to anymore either. So I can no longer access my Hotmail account that I used to send things to myself in order to save them forever. Because if it tries to reset my password for that account, it goes to a Gmail account that I can't access because I don't have that password. And now I've been informed that Hotmail is just nuking accounts that haven't been accessed for a period of time. So all of the things that I sent to myself so that I would have them forever are probably gone. A PDF is a portable document format. It was designed to take scanned images and convert them into a format everyone can use, using a PDF reader such as Adobe Acrobat Reader. Yeah, but then you have to pay for that nonsense. I mean, you can open it with any computer as a JPEG and stuff, but you type the novel in Word on a computer. Is that computer still around? Jesus. Well, I typed the novel in a text document of some kind. It was probably a Word document that I then emailed to myself to have it forever. Is that computer still around? Probably not. I mean, we're talking, I wrote that novel in 2007? Question mark. So even if that computer's still around, it would have been either 2 computers ago for me and got recycled, or hard drive is now listed as the safer option than emailing to oneself. Well, yeah, I just found that out now. Doesn't help me recover my novel that I wrote in 2007. It must be novel to know that you wrote a novel. Well, at least you started writing a novel. No, I wrote it. Like it had a beginning, middle, and end. Like it was a full book. The story was complete. It just I wasn't happy enough with it to publish it or to send it to publishers. I wanted to work on it some more. So I emailed it to myself so that I'd have it forever. All right. Later, Paul. Wifey had surgery yesterday, got sent home with no meds. Up all night trying to get her some relief. Finally got all right. Well, best of wishes to you, wife. Good night to you, sir. And we'll see you next week. And probably talk to you between then and now, or now and then anyway. Because we talk sometimes. Rewrite it and make it better. You should remember most of it. See, if you guys would show up on time, we've already talked all of this out about how I know these characters and this story better than anybody else. And if I just started again knowing who these characters are and the story I needed to put them through, it would be better by starting without having that first draft. But no, you guys show up an hour and 40 minutes late and you start asking questions. You can work out a way to get back. I'll just start. If I ever actually want to get back into it, I'll just bring these characters back up in the brain box and I will start putting them through their paces again. It'll be a better book. It's fine. People were talking about being in IT and I was like, hey, you guys are in IT. You might know about computers. Can I get this Hotmail account back? And they were like, kept the hard drives from all my old computers, mostly out of laziness for the security. I have the old hard. Oh, shit. Is it on that? I have the old hard drive that came out of my old MacBook that may have had a downloaded version of it on there. But the hard drive crashing was the reason for the recycling of the MacBook. And he was like, I can take it out and give it to you, and then maybe you could recover it one day. And I was like, okay, whatever. I'd say we're up to about a 6% chance. We were at 4. We were at a 4% chance that wife still has the physical hard copy printout of the book. The manuscript, let's call it a manuscript because it's not a book. It is the printout of the manuscript. So there was a 4% chance that she has that. I'd say there's another couple of percentage points that it might be on that hard drive that crashed and forced me to recycle the computer. But he gave me the hard drive back. It says the show only just started. You're here for another hour 30, right? Maybe. Probably not. It could be recovered. You're like, you think I could bring that hard drive someplace and they could tell me what's on it? I'm not convinced that that particular hard drive has a downloaded copy of it on there. But if any computer, if it's anywhere digitally and I still own that thing, it'll be on that. Lies. Nope, that one did actually get recycled. My old Dell laptop is where it would most likely be because I think that's what I wrote it on. And that absolutely got recycled at some point. Now ask me about your 1990s Juno account and AOL Instant Messenger logs. I don't even know what those words mean. I don't know what a Juno account is. I know what AOL is, but I don't know what the AOL Instant Messenger log is. Hey, Mike, Kyla needs to schedule a meeting with you after the show, please. Well, you're going to have Kyla contact my customer service representative between 8 p.m. and 9 a.m. Pacific time in North America. And she can that person will be happy to help. We can get that. Yes, we can get that figured out. I'll just spam your phone until you answer again. Yeah, and then you'll be like, "Oh, I wanted to talk, but I have to go take the kids to band practice or whatever the shit they had to do that time." You're like urgently trying to get me on the line, and then you're like, "Okay, bye." TLA policy says you must expand all TLAs to full words. What the shit does that even mean? Oh, it's Sunday. That's right. That was after a Monday show. You had to... It's gymnastics? Or something that you had to get them to? Doesn't matter. I mean, it matters to you guys as a family. It's irrelevant to talk about on the show. Juno was a popular email and internet service back in the early days. Oh, like back in like Internet Explorer days. I remember watching the go around the E when your dial-up was going because it was going through phone lines and shit. Hey, Mike, it's Scott, your customer service representative. Somebody by the name of Kyler got physical and started smacking me across the... It's if you'll read your contract, Scott, in customer service, this is a you problem. Netscape Navigator, that's the one I was talking about. It was an N, and it had a Rubik's Cube practice. No, I think it was. It doesn't matter. We are gonna start wrapping up the show, though, despite the fact that the Australians came late again. We're not, unfortunately, gonna hang out all night. We will show you. I want you to go back and watch the show after the fact anyway. Catch up on what you missed. But we did do some things. We now have a spalted maple guitar top on a very small but adorable guitar body that is Purple Heart and maple. And we have the neck that goes into it. And this is going to be a sexy guitar. But it's cute and compact and very small compared to I did one of these earlier. Which you're gonna see when you go back and watch the rest of the show later. This is the template for the for Dawn. This is the Dawn template, the router template for the body. This is the router template for yet to be named pair of guitars. So it is, I would say, approximately a 3/4 size guitar body compared to what it is based off of. But I like it. It's going to keep it from being stupid heavy, but it should still have enough heft to keep the neck from diving so bad. And now we've run out of show. Child size? Could be. Could be. Maybe that's the answer. Maybe there was talk about looking into how we could raffle it legally, but we'll see. Maybe it's Sven's birthday. No, it's not going to be done by then. Maybe it's Sven's Christmas present. We could have his and his matching guitars, and I could teach him how to play on his and his matching, because they are essentially going to be two of the same-ish guitar in just slightly different color schemes. But anyway, stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe, everybody. We're gonna wrap it up. We're at a 2 1/4, so somehow we got to 2 1/4 hours again. We did a little bit of work. I will say we did more work this week than last week. And it's going to be really, really attractive. Once I get some finish into that grain and it makes all these spalting bits pop and there's a pickup there and the neck goes, oh, it's, and it, that is a really attractive thing. And then the back, if it happens to line up, that'd be awesome. All right, we'll keep at it. We'll get there. Bye for now. Thanks for coming.